Welcome to the debut of Montgomery Today. We have with us here a very special guest today. This show is sponsored by Montgomery General Hospital, and we had other plans for our debut show, but we've had some very bad luck here in the Upper Kanawha Valley, and we're working to recover from massive floods that we had a few days ago. And I have an honored guest with me today. I'm so happy she found time to carve a few minutes out to tell the community about what they're doing here at the emergency center at the Smithers Gateway Center. And I want to welcome Mayor Cavalier. Mayor, welcome, and God bless you and Smithers. You all have really been through it.
We have been through it, Mayor Ingram, and we're getting through it because of the wonderful friends that we have and the partners we have, and certainly Montgomery and you're really among those, because you have stepped up at every request, and even times when I haven't thought to ask, you've been there for us.
Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
And I know if it was Montgomery, you would be there for us, and that's just how we roll up here.
It is.
You know, it's really a good feeling to know that you do have support just in your back door.
You do.
Across the river. But wow, can you maybe start back when you got the first phone call and give us a little insight of what, from the mayor's perspective, just what in the world happened here?
So Monday morning on August 15th, overnight, early in the morning, the rains started, and they were hard. They were very hard rain, and they were very fast rains. And for those of you who are familiar with the area, you know what Cannelton Hollow is like. Smithers Creek runs down Cannelton Hollow. Very steep mountains, very narrow valley. When that water started down the mountain, it was a force to be reckoned with. It hit homes, it hit cars, it hit campers, it hit trees, it hit everything in its path until it washed everything down through to the Kanawha River. And what we have now is we have about 40 homes that are substantially damaged. We have about 60 homes that are partially damaged. We have lost cars, lost trucks. Fortunately, however, I'm so pleased to say, this is my favorite part of this, no serious damage and no loss of life.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
No serious injuries?
No serious injuries. My next favorite part is the people have come together. They are taking care of neighbors and family members. We have now 28 groups that are coming in who've given donations. They've given, you may be able to see behind me, they've given cleaning supplies, they've given food, they've given toiletries, they've given water, lots and lots of water, and we need more water because we're still under a boil water alert. So with our partners, we're being able to pull things together.
And you know, like any emergency, there was a little confusion in the beginning. If I remember correctly, Smithers lost power. So we set up an emergency center in Montgomery for about an hour. The power came back on.
And we moved everything back over here.
Everything back over
And that
here.
was because of all those volunteers. All those volunteers picked up all that stuff and moved it to Montgomery. Then they picked it up and they moved it over here. And now, because school is starting on Monday, we are going to move everything from Valley PK through 8 to the Smithers Gateway Center here at City Hall, and we will then have the ability to provide all supplies and services here from the Gateway Center.
You know, it was amazing. You talk about the volunteers and the people that stepped up to help. It's amazing. Probably within 30 minutes of saying we were going to set that up in Montgomery, there were people in there making coffee. There was tons of water coming in, brooms and bleach and those type of things. And you know, I never realized before just what all you need as a mayor, just what all you need in a time of emergency. And I've learned a lot. We had the dentist brought in, I don't know how many, hundreds and hundreds of toothbrushes and toothpaste and those type of things. Everybody in the community stepped up. I want to thank the Fayette County Commission for their assistance in helping us feed the people here. We have given out vouchers to some of the people to go to a local restaurant, and Fayette County Commission has graciously picked the tab up on that. So it's all hands on deck, and you're to be so commended. You have been through the ringer in the last 3 or 4 days, and
that's why I look so bad in the pictures, folks. I really look better than that, but I haven't slept since Sunday, so.
Well, anyone.
But I will tell you, we have hot meals that are being served at noon and dinner time by area churches and organizations. And you know, you talk about all those volunteers. Literally on Monday, I had volunteers coming at me from every angle, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
But I was so confused about what to do with all those people. And in walked this lady and said, "Hi, you look like you need help. I'm your new volunteer manager." And Libby Campbell has just been amazing. She's done this for 21 years. And if you're a mayor and you're in this situation, call Libby. That's what I can tell you.
I've heard a lot about Libby. She's been in town for 2 or 3 days, and I've already heard a lot about Libby. She has a very good reputation. And, you know, you had mentioned, I heard somewhere earlier that, of course, Montgomery stepped up, and the other communities, Glasgow stepped up and went and retrieved some of your pipe that had floated down the Canal River. Glasgow Fire Department used their swiftwater rescue team, and by the way, we brought that back over today.
Thank you. Thank you.
We rounded it up along the river. They pulled it up on the banks, and we went and got it. But I heard that even the city of Charleston is pitching in and going to help us out a little bit. And Mayor Goodwin is doing a great job in Charleston, and God bless her for reaching out and giving us a helping hand. You know, small communities struggle a lot, but when in time of need, it's so good to know that you have a larger municipality that has the wherewithal to reach a helping hand out and help. And I just want to thank Mayor Goodwin for reaching out and giving us a hand.
Well, my heart goes out to and thanks to Mayor Goodwin. I had the very wonderful opportunity recently of sharing the stage with her. She is the 3rd recipient of the Lydia Main Award for Women in Government. And I became the 4th recipient, and I got to share the stage with her, and that was wonderful. That was just a week or 2 ago. But I need to thank the people of Smithers for all they're doing to help one another. I need to thank the city staff in Smithers. These employees have worked tirelessly. They haven't watched their watches. They leave when they get so tired they have to leave. And that means a lot. You folks there in the city of Montgomery, you're right, the city of Glasgow, city of Charleston, the county, both counties, because we share Fayette and Kanawha, the governor's office, Senator Baldwin's office, Manchin and Capito's office. Everyone has stepped up and brought to the table what we have needed. And I want to thank you for the opportunity today of allowing us to tell our story. I didn't realize this was your what do you call it, your maiden?
This is the maiden voyage.
This is the
Montgomery
maiden
today,
voyage.
and we hope to use this and have you on here many more times. And,
Well, I'm honored to be on here. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, but as you can see, we've had these wonderful supplies sent to us and delivered to us from as far away as Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Virginia, and all parts in between.
Hey, before we close this segment out, I'd like to ask you a question. Can people make monetary donations to for the help to the city? How do people go about making a monetary donation?
That's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that because we have had questions from across the nation. We can't get there to bring you a bottle of bleach, but how can we help? You can send a check to the City of Smithers, mail that to P.O. Box 489, Smithers, West Virginia, area code, zip code. I'm sorry, I've been up a few days.
That's okay.
25186. Down in the memo column, if you would, please write Flood Relief 8-1522. I guarantee you every penny is going to go to the residents who have been impacted here in Smithers, in Cannleton, even outside our city limits. And I want you to know that a lot of supplies that we have received, where we've had extras, we've sent those up to our good friend Mayor Bob Scott, because he was hit in Campbell's Creek and Scrabble Creek.
Scrabble
Creek. And you know, they couldn't get into some of those people, and so we had volunteers to bring out their personal ATVs and loaded up and took those to those folks. So wonderful volunteers, wonderful.
Well, Mayor Cavalier, I want to thank you for all you do for the whole Upper Kanawha Valley, the state of West Virginia. I think you're well known all over the state, and as you came in here today with your hat on, when it comes time to roll up your sleeves, you do that.
I do.
And I want to thank you for everything you've done for this, through this whole process, and thank you for what you're going to continue to do, and your volunteers are just amazing.
Well, Mayor, you believe this and I believe this. The people elected us and they gave us their trust.
Yes.
And that trust was to work every day to make their quality of life better and to make it safer. You do that in your town, I do that in my town, and we work together to do that for all of our residents.
We do, and thank you so much for what you do. And I'm going to thank you on behalf of all of the city of Smithers, and I'm not mayor here, but all of those folks would say thank you. The folks in Cannleton would say thank you. Montgomery says thank you, but outstanding work from an outstanding person, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
So if you can make a donation, the information will be on the screen, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of Montgomery Today in a few moments.
When looking for quality care, look to Montgomery General Hospital. We offer outpatient care 24/7 with services like minor surgeries, testing, new CT scan, Antidon treatment. At Montgomery General Hospital, we make patients feel as if they were our only patient. For small town care with big results, remember Montgomery General Hospital.
Welcome back to Montgomery Today. This is our debut show. We're here with our sponsors, Montgomery General Hospital, and we're here at the Emergency Response Center. It's a Smithers Gateway Center to provide supplies and stuff for the flood victims. But I have with me today Debbie Hill, the CEO of Montgomery General Hospital. And Debbie, we certainly didn't plan on having our debut show under these circumstances, but it worked out that we can maybe get some information and stuff out to folks that have been affected by the flood. So if you could, let's start out talking a little bit about that, and then we will go back and we will recap what our program will be about in the future.
Okay.
So I know the hospital has provided supplies here, gloves and the things that the hospital has, bandages, those type things. But if you could talk a little bit about what the hospital has to offer if someone does get hurt or runs a nail in their foot, or there's a lot of dangerous things out there.
One of the first things you have to be aware of in a flood situation is tetanus. If your tetanus vaccination is not up to date, or if you're in doubt, you need to get down here. Dr. Stewart was here earlier in the week with her staff to make sure that happened. We can do that at Montgomery General Hospital as well. I understand also some of the sewage lines were affected by the flooding, so if there's been exposure to that, they may need hepatitis vaccines. So we don't want anyone getting sick. If they were impacted in any way, shape, or form by the flooding and their vaccines are not up to date, they need to see their healthcare provider, come to the ER, the county health department, get that taken care of. But Montgomery General is certainly available to do that. We're very thankful. Dr. Brad Marple mobilized as soon as we found out what was going on, collected large resources from folks in Charleston who wanted to help out, and got those supplies over here to this team who's doing a wonderful job in responding to the community needs.
We're very fortunate to have a critical care hospital in situations like this and every day of the year.
Yeah.
I know Montgomery General Hospital is just an icon in the Upper Kanawha Valley, and you are always there, always responsive. The employees there are just first class, and I've never gotten anything but good treatment. So we're here, and if anyone that sees the broadcast that needs anything from the Montgomery General Hospital, please go over the emergency room. If you need emergency care, if you have any questions, you can call and try to get some assistance in medical and first aid care. Also, I know there's probably a lot of folks that have maybe lost their medications and those type things. We have pharmacies in different places. If you need emergency medications, Debbie, I'm only guessing that maybe the medical staff could help.
Absolutely. If they've lost their prescriptions, and you know, our providers, if they're your providers, they can make a phone call, work it out with the pharmacies, because some drug companies and things like that can't provide a prescription unless they get confirmation that it has been lost or destroyed. We want to help with that. So please call your provider, get that taken care of. Don't go without your medication, because that's a whole new set of problems. And in a flood situation, not only do you have the physical issues where you need your tetanus vaccines, but you're dealing with emotional issues. You have lost things that maybe can't be replaced. It's a very emotional time. So, you know, folks need to watch out for the mental health of themselves and their neighbors and their family who are going through a difficult time. They really need to pay attention, because the emotional loss and scarring can last for a very long time from an event like this.
And I know if you're affected by the flood, you're certainly consumed with trying to gather up your personal belongings, but I want everybody to know there's an army out here waiting to help.
Yes.
We've got the hospital here, we've got volunteers everywhere, we've got supplies coming in. So yes, they need to really think about their mental health and take care of themselves. That's a very good point. But I'd like to take just a few minutes in this segment for us to talk a little bit about what we plan to do with the program called Montgomery Today. Montgomery General Hospital is so generously offered to sponsor this program, and we are going to have medical advice, or maybe not advice, but medical education.
Yes.
Things of that nature on the program, and we're just so happy that you guys stepped up, and I think it's really going to make a big difference in the Upper Kanawha Valley.
It is. I think, first of all, people need to know about health issues. We assume people know, but they don't. They don't know ways they can solve problems that prevent serious illness. They don't know what services are right in their back door. Sometimes they think it's far away. They don't really know what's right there. And you know, interesting enough, as we were discussing before this, our first show was going to be about what the community needs are. We're in the middle of a community needs assessment, and we were going to talk about that. But as this event and this response shows us, the needs we think we have can change very quickly. And we have to be prepared to respond to emergencies like this all the time, from a community perspective and from a healthcare perspective, because this is a priority now. Above everything else is taking care of these people that have been affected by the flood.
That's a very good point, and I think we have some of the best first responders anywhere in the state of West Virginia.
We do.
And they were out there all hours of the night trying to help people and dig people out and rescue them in the water and those type things. And then you've got the backup of the hospital for medical emergencies and those type things. But I think it's important too to point out that our format of this program will be to spend maybe 12-15 minutes, first part of the show, on PSAs, community service events, things that maybe we'll bring other mayors in. We'll do some things for the Upper Kanawha Valley, the whole region, to try to explain some of the things that's going on in the area. The second part, we're very hopeful that we can have a medical professional or nurses or someone that can come in and provide information of what services Montgomery General Hospital offers. And then some things are just going to be general health and safety information. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got a lot of exciting things going on between what's going on in the community and the plans that we're putting forth to take care of the community. It's an exciting time. Of course, our priority right now, like everybody else, is taking care of these flood victims and getting people back on their feet and making sure they're healthy.
Absolutely. And we certainly thank Montgomery General Hospital for everything you do every day. You know, I live pretty close to the hospital, and I see the guys out working on the grounds and taking care of the place, and we are just so appreciative. The community is going to realize a real benefit to this program that you are so graciously sponsoring, and we hope to bring a lot of information to people that can't get out, can't get to the hospital, but we certainly appreciate everything you do.
Yeah.
So with that said, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Montgomery Today right after this message.
When looking for quality care, look to Montgomery General Hospital. We offer outpatient care 24/7 with services like minor surgeries, testing, new CT scan, Antidon treatment. At Montgomery General Hospital, we make patients feel as if they were our only patient. For small town care with big results, remember Montgomery General Hospital.
Welcome back to Montgomery Today, sponsored by Montgomery General Hospital. And I'm here today with Libby Campbell. She's come to talk to us. She is the coordinator of this emergency center, and she is knocking it out of the park. It's not a good time to be or a good thing, but you've got your finger on all the buttons for sure.
Well, you know what? I've worked shelters for 21 years. And I honestly can say I've never met a group of people that have worked together so well. It's went so smoothly. We've had residents that was coming in. They were in shock. They were crying. Our ladies just prayed with them and calmed them down and took care of them.
You know, we had Debbie Hill on earlier segment, and she said that mental health and mental stability and things like that, when you lose everything, is a real concern, and it's just good. I think it's good that you have those folks here. And can you tell us a little bit about your volunteers and what they're all doing? And I know one thing, they're working.
Yeah, you know, I've had times where I've had to actually ask people to get up and do something. This group of people just get up and do it. I don't have to ask anything. They meet the people at the door, they register them, they ask how many's in the family, what damage they had, what they need, and then we have everything set up in an organization where we can have you in, you get your tetanus shot, you get your supplies, and you're out the door in 5 minutes, so they don't have to stand around in a line. But we are also there to listen, because in any situation like this, sometimes they just need to talk.
Yeah. Now, the division of duties, I know you have stuff coming in, you have stuff going out, you have stuff you have to store, you have stuff you have to move. Do you have different groups that do each one of those, or?
I have it organized to the point where when things come in, the ladies at the desk mark everything is coming in, so I know what I have and what I may need. And then we have a group of gentlemen. Chuck Taylor came in and organized everything yesterday. They take it out. We got everything under control. If we need to move anything, we have different groups. We had a volleyball team. This fly doesn't like me. A volleyball team come in and work. We have cheerleaders from Riverside that came in and work. Tomorrow we'll have football players that is coming in moving everything for us. Fire department guys have come in and moved things for us. The Valley Pre-K administration, the principal and the crew there have been amazing. They just jump in and do whatever we need to do, and it's been amazing how many people we've been able to help because of the volunteers.
Well, Libby, you're doing an excellent job, and
Thank you.
my
It's
hat
because
is
of
certainly
them.
off to everyone here. Mayor Cavalier has worked tirelessly on this project. You've been here. I know you were here yesterday. I was
I've been
over
here since
yesterday.
Monday.
And it looked like everything over in the other building. And that's another thing. How many times have you moved everything? I know we started
5.
out in Montgomery
Yeah.
and we moved it here.
Yeah, I think it's about 5 different times now.
Yeah. So we've had some building issues and school's getting ready to start and we have to change that.
And Mayor, we have food trucks that are coming in, not to mention churches that have brought food in, Pizza Hut, Frank's Pizza, Leslie's, but just so people know, for the next 3 days, we have food coming in from 11 to 2, and then we'll have them at 5 o'clock for through Sunday. And this is something that, I mean, everybody has amazed me, but the Charleston Police Department is actually coming in to feed people on Sunday.
Wow, that's amazing. And
It's
you know,
been great.
West Virginia truly is almost heaven.
We've had people from Wheeling, Ohio, the Ronald McDonald House, Crossroads Mall, you name it, and people just stop and bring truckloads of things.
Well, I'm sure those folks who got hit can certainly need it, or will certainly use it. I tell you, Libby, I think we need to interview this fly that's been flying back and
yeah,
forth.
it's
Just thought
definitely
maybe that
didn't want
would
to be on air.
That would be an honorable mention. Okay, so I want to share with the people on television that monetary donations can be made. City of Smithers, P.O. Box 489, Smithers, West Virginia, 25186. And please put in the note that it is the 8/15 flood relief.
8/15/22.
8/15/22 flood relief, and they've got a separate account set up for that, for those funds, and it will be distributed to the people in need. And if you are a West Virginian and you live in a small community, you know that money will get where it needs to be. And Libby, I cannot thank you enough.
It's been great. I would like to say that we cannot take clothes.
Okay.
Everybody keeps calling me, we cannot take clothes.
Okay.
That's the one thing we can't do right now.
Okay. Welcome back to Montgomery Today. I'm here with Kevin Walker, Emergency Manager for Fayette County Emergency Management System. And Kevin, maybe you could tell us a little bit about that first call on 8/15, and when 911 received calls. I'm sure you had a flood of calls, but maybe you could share a little bit of that information with us just to let us know how this thing progressed into what it is today.
As an emergency manager, you always hate when your phone rings at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So on Monday morning, about 4:48, I got a call from our communications center advising us that they had reports of possible flash flooding here in Smithers. At that time, it was still fluid. We didn't know exactly what was going on. So as time progressed, things rapidly took play and started happening. And it was about 6 o'clock when I got an initial update of exactly what was going on. And at that point in time, we already had some water rescues going on from Cannleton, here in Smithers, several different areas. So at that point in time, we knew that we had to activate and start moving pretty swift to get things going.
Well, I know that you deal with this a lot, and Smithers was not the only place that was affected. Could you speak a little bit about what happened at Scrabble Creek up in the Golly Bridge area? I know that I was on a call the other day, and Mayor Bob Scott said something about that the campground took a pretty good hit, and you know, that place is usually full. I don't know if it was or not, but and Golly Mountain. I mean, golly, it's the whole county. So if you would share a little bit about what you know about Scrabble Creek and how's the recovery going and things up in that area.
You know, it's amazing how Mother Nature can cause such mass destruction in a little bit of no time. On our coordination calls Monday morning when we spoke with the National Weather Service, they advised us that about 5 inches of rain fell over about a 2-hour period. That's a lot of rain. And when the ground is already saturated, it has nowhere to go. So we're going to start getting mountainous runoff, and that's exactly what happened here in this area. The band of rain set up right over this area perfectly and just started dumping. And when it did, all chaos broke loose.
Do you think there was anything that we could have done as society, whether it be a municipality or the county, to prevent any of this, such as maybe dredging some creeks or something that we can do now to maybe be proactive to where we don't run into all of this damage again?
You know, it's always a learning process. Mm-hmm. Every disaster that we go into, we always learn something new. And it never fails that we get into the conversations of creek dredging. Mm-hmm. You know, it used to be that creek dredging was a thing to where they'd come in and they'd clean out the debris and the sediment of the creeks, and the flow of the water would go normal. But now we have to go through the entire process of the environmental studies, the mussel studies, the lizard studies, different things to see what kind of organisms are in that water.
Right.
And if there's any endangered species in there, it can't be dredged.
Yeah.
So dredging is really a thing of the past. But what we can do is prepare ourselves. You know, one of the biggest things that I try to get people to understand is practice preparation. Make sure you, even if you don't think that you're going to need it, sooner or later, something's going to happen and you're going to need to be prepared for something.
Exactly.
And we need to be prepared in our own families for the first 72 hours of any event. A lot of people say 72 hours. Why is that? Simply because it takes us that long to get supplies moving, to get things set up, to get people into a position to where we can start helping you recover what had just happened.
I think you said something's very important. Every event is a learning process.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if we act on what we learned from the last one, great. If we don't, shame on us, because it certainly will happen again. But again, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for the response. Please thank everyone at the 911 center. I'm sure they were inundated with people calling.
Absolutely, yes.
When you've got water all around your house and maybe you live alone, that's an emergency.
It is, and you know, one thing that I can honestly say is our volunteer partners across not only West Virginia, but other parts of the state, you know, our surrounding states have stepped up to help. We have individuals coming in from Tennessee. We have some coming in from Kentucky. You know, Kentucky was devastated with floodwaters several weeks ago, but we have teams that's coming in from Kentucky to help recover in West Virginia. The thing that I love about West Virginia is we are resilient.
Yes.
We are neighbors helping neighbors, and that's what we do. I don't care if you're in the Valley. I don't care if you're in the New Haven District. I don't care if you're in the Plateau. I don't care if you're in Mercer County or in Greenbrier County or Preston County. If something happens, West Virginians are going to pull together.
So thank you for tuning in to this segment. It's the first segment of Montgomery Today. We certainly didn't plan on it being emergency circumstances, but that's just what we do, and that's what we plan to do with this program. We thank Montgomery General Hospital for providing all the financial assistance to make this program possible, and we just ask that everybody be safe out there and have a good day. And that's it for today, for Montgomery Today, and God bless everybody.